Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review would be House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 10, Season Finale. Let's get into it. Before we do that, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Shall we begin? Now, there was a error, so they say, with this leak for the season finale, and everybody probably watched this episode early. Some people watched it probably Friday, and already was putting clips out what happened. So this is a season finale, but it's just setting up for the war. Not too much happened, but it stayed true to the book. So the episode started off with uh, Princess Rhaenyra showing up to Dragonstone and letting Rhaenyra and Prince Daemon know that Viserys has passed away. Of course, Rhaenyra is pregnant and she went into labor right there. However, she's because of the stress, everything she's going through, she went in prematurely. So while uh, she's going through her labor motions, Daemon is plotting war, and it just was showing the strength of Rhaenyra. She didn't receive no help from anyone, and she just gutted this baby out, and the baby was born, stillborn. So, but it just showed her strength that she pushed through all that despite what was going on. And Lord Corlys, we find out, is still alive. So they had to find out whose alliances is still with Rhaenyra that's going to honor their vow to the king that she should be queen. So Hightower shows up, Otto Hightower shows up with his note from Aegon II, basically saying, if you acknowledge that I'm the king, we'll let you remain queen of Dragonstone, and so on forth. So Prince Daemon's ready to war and kill Daemon. They already had the dragon sitting on the men. However, Rhaenyra just told everybody stand down. He gave her something from Alicent, Queen Alicent, to remind them of the good times they had when they were younger. So she went back, and Lord Corlys shows up, and Princess Rhaenyra basically told him he left her, and at the time she needed him most, he had to go out there because he felt like he didn't have anything. His son was dead, even though we know the son is still alive, and now he's back. She told him about his brother who was killed at the hand of Daemon. However, he said it was his ambitions for his wife to reach the throne that could have sparked Vaemon Valerian to have that in him to take his claim. So nevertheless, he just pretty much vowed to stick with his allegiance with Rhaenyra, and he almost lost his life, but they did cover some ground out there in the Sea World. And so they were just all plotting and planning. They had to find out what houses were still behind them. So Jacaerys and Lucerys was going to two different houses to get allegiance from both. Now, it shows Rhaenyra having a conversation with Lucerys. Now, he's a bit young, but she basically telling him that he needs to accept his role, and whether he's young or not, even though he said he's not ready, he's going to have to be ready, pretty much. So, Jacaerys and Lucerys had a scene where they were practice their swordsmanship. And you can tell Lucerys, he's really not built for it. Jacaerys is, he's trying to step into that manly role, but Lucerys is just not there. He's just young enough, too young. And he really should be playing the back right now. However, they pushing him forward. So Princess Rhaenyra said she was going to go to one location, Jacaerys going to another, and then Lucerys was going to go to another location to tell the people that he would wed one of their like daughters, and then to make the family structure stronger. Now, Princess Rhaenyra gave a message for Lucerys to go see. Meanwhile, it shows Prince Daemon going to retrieve another dragon. So it shows in his I think they said this dragon is Vermax. Nevertheless, it's a big dragon, and he's singing that old Valerian song. And that's where his mission was. Meanwhile, you see Lucerys is off. He lands to the place. Now, when he's landing, it's kind of dark, gloomy. And when he gets there, he looks over in the shadows. It's Vhagar. So you already know Aemon is there. So when he gets there, Aemon had already came to do the same thing. Basically, a note from Aegon saying what they would do, merge the two houses. So Cregan, I think his name was Cregan Stark. That's the house that they was in. Pretty much told them, like, listen, because Lucerys basically said, I'm already set to marry somebody else. I can't marry one of your daughters. So he basically said, get out of here, pup. I ain't got no time for you, or whatever. But he was supposed to go there and say that I'm going to marry one of your daughters. Now, he just told him, get out of here. So when he goes to leave, Aemon pretty much says, nah, I need you to pay your debt. I need an eye. So he took his patch off, and he had a sapphire in his eye as the replacement, the eye he lost. So Lucerys did promise his mom that he wouldn't fight. They were supposed to be coming in peace. And he said, I'm not going to fight you. So Aemon threw a dagger, said, hey, you don't got to fight, just give me your eye. I'm going to take it as a reward back to my mom. Lucerys said no, so then he poured out his sword, ready to fight. Cregan Stark pretty much stated, hey, not underneath my roof. It's not going down. Told his guards to release, make sure that Lucerys got back to his dragon. So his dragon name is Arax. Now it's raining, storming, and as he's frightened, but he's trying to be brave. He's flying on Arax, and it's like something out of a Jaws movie or whatever. You see Arax flying, but underneath Arax in the shadows is Vhagar, and you get to see how big Vhagar is compared to Arax. And this is where the war gets deeper, but in this instance, it's the behaviors of Aemon who triggered this. Now, Aemon just want to be, this is still his nephew. He want an eye for an eye. He don't want to kill him. That's the intent. But in the same regard, he wants to keep him in fear. Now, what happens is he shows up and first he flew underneath him, then he flew over top of him or whatever, and then he came in the back of him, and then he was chasing Lucerys and Arax with Vhagar. And so, of course, Arax is a little small dragon, so it can dip through small places. Vhagar is big. So what happens is a moment where they would swoop real low into the mountains or whatever. They should just landed somewhere and or whatever, but they didn't. And Aemon can't see them no more. Out of nowhere, Arax came up out of nowhere, and the dragon without Lucerys telling it to, the dragon was upset that it was getting chased, so it shot fire at Vhagar. Now, at this moment, Vhagar is he's going rogue, so he wants to get back. So Aemon is trying to tell Vhagar calm down and to obey him, but Vhagar is not listening. So Arryx and Lucerys was just flying still throughout the out the midst of the rain, and they went into clear skies. So you can see the sun and everything. And out of nowhere came Vhagar and just like something out of a movie, Jaws or something, and bit and killed Arax. And you just seen pieces of debris just flying down. Aemon had to look like, oh no, what did I do? Because you triggered this or whatever, but you don't really got full control of these dragons. They obey you, but you don't have full control. And he looked like, what did I just do? Because he knew the consequences of that was going to... There's no peace after this. Because it's going to look at you intentionally killed their son or Lucerys, and it's going to be straight war. So it shows Prince Daemon show up to Dragonstone, pull Rhaenyra to the side, and this is to inform her that Lucerys is dead. Because you can see her like whimpering and bowing her head, but when she turned around, she didn't really show true emotion. She has to stand firm as being a queen, and you could just see the pain on her face, and it went off. So if they, spoiler alert, if they stay true to form, I just didn't know how much they was going to show in this season finale. So they did go through Lucerys getting killed. So this is straight off of the book. And what happens in the book is that Prince Daemon, he wants revenge for Lucerys. So what he goes and do is contact Miliceria, and because they got getting tunnels in the wall, and he contacts her, said he wants revenge, and he wants to kill one of Aegon II and Helena's. They got twins. So I think they got a total of 3 kids, and yeah, it's a girl, boy, and the youngest, and he sends henchmen. They send henchmen into the castle, King's Landing, to kill one of the kids. So they got through the secret passage, and what happens is Helena, she brings the kids by to see the grandma every night before they go to bed. And when they go in there, they tie Allison up, and they take the 3 kids and pretty much ask the 3 kids which one of the kids do she want dead. And the 3rd child is the youngest, so she chose. She had the 2 twins, which were a boy and a girl, and the youngest. And so she chose the youngest because she felt as though he wouldn't understand, and he young anyway. So instead of them taking the youngest, they took the oldest boy, which was one of the twins, and killed him. And now the youngest kid will forever know that the mom chose him to die. So that's the downfall of Helena from there. That she would then go in depression and stuff like that. So I thought they would at least play that part out. Well, I guess they'll wait till next season 2 to play that out. Nevertheless, overall a good season. I just felt as though, I don't know if they thought would it be popular enough, so they just had to cram a lot of stuff in and just get straight to the war by the end of the first season. Because really, I think they would have been better if they did the first 2 seasons, and then the wars start after um, the second season. That way, we wouldn't have had all them time jumps, and it would be more character development, because it just seems a bit rushed at this point. It's just skimming through a lot of stuff. I guess they just trying to highlight the main stuff, but it's a lot of those little details that give character build up. So you really still not attached too much, and still it's a lot of questions of what took place here and there, and so that's what we got to deal with when the season was pretty much rushed, and then they could have started the war at the beginning of season 3, and then so it looks like now that they speeding them. I don't know how far they're going to do the time jumps now, because technically the way they've been speeding through everything, by the end of season 2, they said they were supposed to get like 4 or 5 seasons off of it. See, that's the weak part, that now you want to spread it out through the war. When by right, since y'all sped through all this, you could do the whole war in 1 season. You just would start from the jump, because it's only like they could spread it out, but it's only technically a few other highlights that happened during the war, and it's really the demise of everybody. So I guess now they got read up for definitely a season 2, and I guess they're gonna project to see how far they can go now and just bleed it. But I heard it's supposed to be at some point like this is a prequel to Game of Thrones, but then they want at some point they're going to do a prequel to this one where they show Aegon the Conqueror, and you get to see Valerian the Black Dragon, and it should have been a sequence when they're telling the story about him, where they could have took 2 episodes, or just to show that Aegon the Conqueror with the Black Dress. I think, from what I hear, the rumors that they plan to do something like that, but still, they rushed through all this. They must have just, because you could do a spoiler alert and get through the whole, everybody on both sides. Nobody really truly benefits. By the time the people that still stay alive after everything, nobody's really left too much. All the everybody that's in position that you see won't be around. It's only a few different spots that's still alive, and but all the main people pretty much die in a sense or whatever. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. What you feel? How did you like this first season of House of the Dragon? Till next time.